channel, Wisconsin Hugs, where I tell stories I've written in Facebook and the best of my stories. And I thought I'd share this picture with you. It was taken at a truck stop slash 50s restaurant in Hickston, Illinois, which is just a little bit east of Bloomington, Illinois, on Highway 74. And sometimes when you're single, you like to post funny, goofy pictures of you with maybe a Marilyn Monroe statue, and so that's what that was all about. But I thought I'd share this post with you. This is a true story. This is the story that made me become a believer in God and angels and everything. And I guess I'll just read it right here, and we'll go from there. Tony Grillo, August 13, 2020. So it's getting close to bedtime, and I've always loved a good story or an old radio show before I fall asleep. My fatherly duties make me the king of bedtime storytelling for my kids when they were little. Sometimes I totally made them up from my own imagination, and sometimes I told them real stories about me or ones I heard from friends. Other times I might borrow a TV show that I saw, and throw a story together that way. But here we go. My kids loved bedtime stories that I told. So anyways, and so I'll tell you all one before I nod off as I parked my rig for the night at the Abbeyland truck stop on Highway 29 in Curtis, Wisconsin. This is probably my best story of all time, and I've only told it to a few because it's so crazy. But I'm at a point in my life where I've done so many wild, crazy, fun things that I really don't care what opinion you have of me anymore. I just hope you like me. And so not too long after finishing college, I was working for National Tire Services. It was a waste tire recycling operation in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. And I worked as laborer, route sales, dispatch, driver, foreman, and eventually rose up to GM. However, at this point in the story, I was just a hardworking grunt and was home one night and showered the dirt off me and just finished watching the movie Cocoon 2: The Return. And I really liked the ending when Steve Guttenberg sadly kisses the pretty alien lady goodbye. As they kiss for last time, she reveals some of his future. He's standing at the altar and sees a birthmark on the back of his marching bride's neck. The ship flies safely away and the morning sun is rising when a beautiful Courtney Cox from Friends says hi, and he sees the exact birthmark on her neck and then he saw in his vision. And so the movie ends with him taking her to a coffee shop. Well, I got a phone call that very same night from the girl I was crazy about, only she called to tell me that she was going to marry someone else. This was the mother of my twin boys, the girl I met in college at UW Eau Claire. We met my freshman year when I was playing hockey there, and then we kind of dated off and on, and then she went back to her hometown of Superior, Wisconsin, and then we kind of got back together my senior year, and we started dating again. So anyways, so I went to bed pretty ticked off and sad because she was going to marry another guy, and had the craziest dream ever. In my dream, this being of incredible golden light and wings came flying down to me, and I was in a totally white area and had to shield my eyes because the golden light coming from her was so bright and intense. And I'm like, oh wow, this is an angel. My first impulse was to go down on my knees because she looked so holy. But then I remembered reading that we aren't supposed to bow to angels. It does say that in the Bible, like a lot of times people will first reaction is the heroes in the Bible, when they meet an angel, they immediately bow to their knees, and I felt that same impulse, but then the angels will always say, no, you're not supposed to bow to us, we're just here to tell you something, or whatever it is. And so anyways, she was incredibly beautiful with huge golden wings and long golden hair. She was so beautiful, I sort of lapsed, and a few erotic thoughts crossed my mind. Okay, I'll admit it. It happened. She was hot. I was suddenly surprised when she busted a gut and started laughing. I couldn't find anything funny around me, and I hadn't said a word, and that's when I realized, oh my God, she can read my mind. She knows what I just thought. And I was very embarrassed, but she played it off, and I was relieved she didn't take any offense. She asked me why I was sad, so I told her the entire story, although if she was my guardian angel, she already knew, and that's why she appeared. I finally asked her if I would ever find that one. She laughed and said, of course. Then, remembering Cocoon 2, I asked her if she knew who I would marry. And she gave me that look like she couldn't tell me. And I kind of picked up on that. And so I said, well, how about give me a clue? And then she thought about it for a second and said, yeah, I can do that. So this is what she says. The lady you are going to marry, the first letter of her name will be identical to the first letter of your name. Also, both your first names will have the same number of letters. The first letter of her middle name will be the mirror reflection of the first letter of your middle name, and the middle names will also have the same number of letters. I didn't understand the mirror reflection, but she flew away, and I couldn't ask any more questions, and woke up that morning thinking that was the first time I ever dreamed of seeing an angel. You know, you read about Gabriel in the Bible, especially in the book of Daniel, but my angel is definitely a hot babe lady angel. So the next morning I was at work where they asked me if I'd be interested in working for our division in Tucson, Arizona. And I was like, yeah, I'd like to get away from the snow in Minneapolis. So while working there, I did some dating. I met a Sylvia, a Terry, Chris, and a Michelle. All very nice ladies, but I kept going back to the dream and realized none of their names matched. Terry matched with Tony, but the middle names didn't have the same number of letters. And I still didn't understand this mirror reflection clause of the first letter in the middle name. Then I was working at all the divisions. I went to Millbank, South Dakota, Port Clinton, Ohio, Waukesha, Wisconsin, and Chicago Heights, Illinois. And there were a few dates in that span of 5 years. There was a Valerie, a Wendy, a Chris, but none of their names matched mine like the dream said it would. Valerie had the same number of letters as Anthony, but the first letters weren't the same. Wendy matched up with my middle name, Wayne, but that's not what I was told would happen. Both names had to line up. And Chris lined up with Tony, but the first letters weren't the same, and the middle name didn't line up at all. I played this name game every time I met someone, and soon figured this was crazy. There's no way this will happen. I wound up in Kleiman, Wisconsin, population 350 people, and served on the volunteer fire department for many years. And of all the places I had been, it was there I finally met my wife. Her name was Annie. She was beautiful and hardworking, and I took her for ice cream on our first date. I learned even then that women may say no to you, but they have a hard time turning down ice cream. As I sat down on the computer to print out our wedding invitations, I wrote Annie and Tony. Annie said, hey, use our real names. Her name was Annetta, Annetta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. Mine was Anthony, Anthony, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The first letter is the same. Wait a minute. The dream suddenly came back. It's been 8 years and I've lived in 5 different states, but both names start with A and have the same number of letters, 7. Annie, what's your middle name? I actually didn't know what Annie's middle name was. She says Marie. Marie, 5 letters, M. Mine is Wayne. Wayne, 5 letters. Oh, for Pete's sake, the mere reflection of the first letter suddenly makes M. M is the mere reflection of W, and both names had the same number of letters, 5. The next thing Annie says to me is, you look like you've seen a ghost. Yeah, it's something like that, LOL, I replied. The dream prophecy actually came true, and I was totally blown away. Oh my God, you are actually real. God is really real. Angels are freaking real. And mind you, I was never a believer until that day came when an impossible dream became possible. So now you know the story of how I came to believe in God. Yes, you can claim I made everything up. I am quite the storyteller. You could say the movie of the beautiful alien lady, in Cocoon, and that I'd been upset with a broken heart from my college girlfriend had obviously messed with my dream, and you may be right. You can even say I saw how the names matched up and fabricated the entire fantastic story. But what are the odds of marriage between two people whose names match up like that? I'd be safe to say the odds would be astronomical. Heck, see if your name matches up with your sweetie like mine did. I'd lay good money that it doesn't. Well, that's my bedtime story for all of you. It's okay if you find my story pretty far-fetched, but a great story will open your mind to the possibilities that God and miracles do exist. It's my story of why I believe. Unfortunately, we didn't last, and that happens, and you move on, and you hope you find the correct path again. I failed, but God has never failed me. Falling from failure just makes you look back up again. Good night, all, and God bless. You know, it's funny that I wrote that. Falling from failure just makes you look back up again. I don't know if you know this or not, but I did teach religious ed. After I had that dream, I was like, okay, I believe. What do you want me to do, God? You know, and I heard a voice say, teach. I want you to teach. And so I started studying the Bible, and I started learning everything I could about all the history and the discoveries and all the fascinating stuff that's out there that actually proves the stuff in the Bible really did happen. And I would teach about it. And you know, one of the things that I found funny was that in Exodus, actually I think it's in Numbers, because Numbers is the next book after Exodus, and it tells the story of Moses taking his people, out of Egypt, and then they were living in the desert, and that's why it's called Numbers, and they were complaining all the time, complaining about the lack of food, complaining about just living in the desert, and God, and then a lot of times they stopped praying, and God actually had a nickname for his own people. He would call them stiff necks, because they kept their necks stiff and they wouldn't look up. They wouldn't look up to him. So he nicknamed his own people in the Bible. God nicknamed his own people stiff necks, and that just proves to me, he loves his people even when he gets a little annoyed with them and gives them a nickname, but he still loves all of us. We are his creation, and he still, as he was in the Bible, he still makes himself known today to all of us. Just open your eyes and you'll see miracles all the time, and those are like his way of being anonymous. So anyways, that's my post for today. I don't know. Oh yeah, that was the truck I used to drive. That was Go Big Red. That was one of the very first semis I drove. It's called the Badger football truck. So all right, I'm out of here. You people have a great day. Love y'all. Wisconsin hugs. Oh yeah, subscribe, give me a like, get her done. All right, bye.